Paul McCartney of Beatles fame has a new book out, Wings, the story of a band on the run. Wings, of course, is the rock band McCartney formed back in the early 1970s after McCartney's departure from the Beatles. As for what to expect from the RID, the book's official description states, drawn from over 500,000 words, based on dozens of hours of interviews with Paul and numerous key players in the band's orbit. Wings. The story of a band on the run weaves together the improbable trajectory of Paul McCartney and his newly formed band, featuring co-founding members Linda McCartney and Denny Laine, across the Technicolor 1970s until their dissolution in 1981. In the new book, McCartney gets personal about where his mind was in the late 1960s. There was even a time when a crazy story was circulating that McCartney had died in the 1960s. Now, this was before the internet, so it's extra wild that a story like this would have life. The theory was that McCartney had actually died in the mid-60s and was replaced by a clone. In an excerpt from Wings, the story of a band on the run, published in news outlet The Guardian, McCartney says, "The strangest rumors started floating around just as the Beatles were breaking up, that I was dead. We had heard it long before, but suddenly, in that autumn of 1969, stirred up by a DJ in America, it took on a force all its own, so that millions of fans around the world believed I was actually gone," McCartney added. Even though McCartney was physically alive, it was a difficult time for the musician. He even says that he was dead in a spiritual way during that time. Now that over a half-century has passed since those truly crazy times, I'm beginning to think that the rumors were more accurate than one might have thought at the time, McCartney writes. In so many ways, I was dead. 27-year-old about to become ex-Beatle, drowning in a sea of legal and personal rows that were sapping my energy, in need of a complete life makeover. McCartney discusses more of his transition from the Beatles to Wings and Wing, the story of a band on the run. The book's best stuff is to be found at the start, when the superstar was making his first baby steps toward renewed relevance, and then found it, the LA Times notes in their review of the piece.